Good morning. We are the group 1 and we are going to tackle about ethics in the IT organization together with Alves, Mr. L. Legro, and me, Villanueva. First, what is an ethical? What is an ethics? So, ethics is derived from the Greek word of ethos, which means custom, habit, and way of thinking. Ethics is the discipline and practice of applying value to human behavior, resulting in meaningful conduct. So this explains that ethics is like kung ano yung magiging ano yung personality or magiging character ng isang tao when it comes to different situations or kung ano yung magiging way of thinking nila and siguro focus na din kung paano sila makakapag-resolve na problems or situations na kinakaharap nila ngayon. First, and next is computer ethics defined as the application of classical ethical principles to the use of computer technologies. So, dito papasok yung IT professionals if sila ba ay maganda ang way of thinking nila, may character development when it comes to IT industry and kung ano yung behavior nila as a user. Next is ethical problems related to computers. First is privacy. So data privacy, it is about access, use, and collection of data, and the data subject legal right to the data. So hindi rin kasi na-realize na yung users na hindi porket you are using a personal gadgets with a safe password, that doesn't mean anyone cannot access it. Next is property. So, property is a computer ethics that are a set of moral standards that govern the user of computers. So, it is a society's view about the use of computers, both hardware and software. And common issues when it comes to property are privacy concerns, intellectual property rights, and effects on the society are some of the computer's issue of the computer ethics. Next is access. In computer ethics, access is access control is a security measure that keeps the data and allows the user to view, edit, use, or have an access to the system. Next is hacking, cracking, and virus creation. So hacking involves unauthorization attempt to gain unauthorized access to a computer system, application, or data. Next is cracking. Cracking is a technique used to breach computer software of an entire computer security system and with malicious intent. And virus creation, we all know that in IT world, maraming mga hackers na nag-create ng mga virus. Next is software piracy. So software piracy is a term used to describe the act of illegal using, copying, or distributing software without ownership or legal rights. Next is security threat. So security threat, it is defined as a risk that which can potentially harm computer system and organization. So hindi ito related sa physical injuries, but it is because could also be non-physical such as virus attacks. So next is there are 4 types of security threats. First is computer viruses. So computer viruses is a malicious piece of computer code designed to spread from device to device. So, a computer virus is one of malware that inserts itself virus code to multiply itself by napapasok sa programs natin and applications. And nai-infect yung computer through the application of malicious codes. Next is cybercrime. So, cybercrime is also called computer crime. So, dito pumapasok yung illegal ends na such as committing fraud, trafficking in child pornography, and intellectual property, and also stealing identities or violating privacy. So, sino nga ba yung nagko-commit ng cybercrime? And ano rin ba ang cybercrime? So, cybercrime offenses are committed when someone is using a computer or other digital technology. And there are illegals hacking, also known as cyber-dependent crime, where someone can access to another person's computer network or device without the owner's permission. Next is software piracy and hacking. So we all know that software piracy refers to the unauthorized duplication of computer software. Hacking refers to attempts to gain information from undisclosed or unprotected areas. And lastly is computer crime prevention. So, paano ba natin mapaprevent yung computer crime? So, an obvious way to prevent computer crime is to properly restrict access to all terminals, the network, or a single computer in the home or office. And make sure na yung access sa computer is possible na dapat i-secret na lang or hindi na dapat i-leak yung password na yun to avoid physical intrusion on the home terminal. Next naman, and last but not least, is the 10 Commandments of Computer Ethics. 1. Thou shalt not use a computer to harm other people. The first commandment explains that you should not harm another user. Hindi ito related sa physical injury, but it includes harming or corrupting others' user data or files. It is wrong to steal someone's personal information. Second is thou shalt not interfere with other people's computer work. Dito naman it says na computer software sometimes causes to disturb other user and disrupt their work. Some program meant to harm useful computer program or interfere with normal functional of a computer. So, maayos naman or like bago pa yung computer or maayos pa siya. Pero possible kasi na nangyayari yun kapag mga flash drives na unsafe at may mga viruses at nag-leak din yung napapasa sa bagong computer yung virus na yun. Third is thou shalt not snoop around in other people's computer files. Dito naman sinasabi na it is wrong and unethical to obtain data from another person's private files. So, sino nga bang gagawa nun? Kung alam naman ng isang tao na private yon at hindi dapat na-obtain or na-access ng ibang tao. So, that's disrespectful. Next is thou shalt not use a computer to steal. So, stealing sensitive information or leaking confidential information is parang katulad na rin sa robbery. Katulad na lang kapag tinatry mo na mag-leak sa personal information sa employee or yung patient history na sobrang confidential. Or kapag nag-leak ka ng bank account ng owner at hindi naman talaga para sa'yo, that's a crime. So, fifth is thou shalt not use a computer to bear false witness. So, spreading of false information has become viral today in social media. And sobrang hirap nito, especially sa mga artists. There are times na naapektuhan yung product endorsement nila.
Good day, I am Sheila Peligro, and I will present the ethics in the IT organization. The topic that assigned on me are all about computer virus, types of computer crimes, and computer criminal. So here is the table of contents. The first topic that I'm going to discuss with you is what is computer virus. Second, spreading of virus. Third, steps to help avoid viruses. Fourth, computer crime. Fifth, types of computer crimes. And last, types of computer criminal. So let's start. What is computer virus? Computer viruses are small software programs that are designed to spread from one computer to another and to interfere with computer operations. So, as a subset of malware, these self-copying threats are usually designed to damage a device or steal data. So, a computer virus is a malicious program that self-replicates by copying itself to another program. And in other words, the computer virus spreads by itself into other executable code. So the main purpose of creating a computer virus is to infect vulnerable systems to gain admin control and steal users' sensitive data. And hackers design computer viruses with malicious intent and prey on online users by tricking them. So what does a computer virus do? Some computers, viruses are programmed to harm your computer by damaging programs, deleting files, or before formatting the hard drive. And we have a symptoms of computer virus, that is stolen computer performance, erratic computer behavior, unexplained data loss, frequent computer crashes. Second topic is spreading of virus. So how does a computer get a virus? So even if you are careful, you can pick up computer viruses through normal web activities like viruses are most easily spread. They are spread through email attachments, instant messaging messages, funny image, audio and video files, downloading files from internet, and greeting cards, and many more. So we have 8 types of computer viruses. The first is worms. A worm is a type of viruses that, unlike traditional viruses, usually does not require the action of a user to spread from device to device. Second is Trojans. As in the myth, a Trojan is a virus that hides within a legitimate seeming program to spread itself across networks or device. And the last is ransomware. This is a type of malware that encrypts a user files and demand a ransom for its return and can be, but isn't necessarily spread through computer viruses. Next is steps to help avoid viruses. So how are computer viruses removed? The first thing is antiviruses have made great progress in being available to identify and prevent the spread of computer viruses. So next is use an internet firewall and subscribe to industry in standard antivirus software and never open an email attachment from someone you don't know. Scan each and every attachment, and thus is rules to be followed while surfing net. So, computer crime. What is computer crime? Alternatively referred to as cybercrime, e-crime, electronic crime, or high-tech crime. Computer crime is an act performed by knowledgeable computer users and sometimes refers to as a hacker that illegally browses and steals a company or individual's private information. And in some cases, this person or um, group of individuals may be malicious and destroy or otherwise corrupt the computer or data files. So here is the computer crimes example is first IT infrastructure, second is illegal access, illegal interruption, data interference, system interference, misuse of device, and electronic fraud. So fifth is types of computer crimes. These are the types of computer crimes. First is target of the crime, medium of the attack, tool, and intimidate or deceive. Last topic is types of computer criminal. Computer criminal are individuals or teams of people who use technology to commit malicious activities on digital system or network with the intention of stealing sensitive company information or personal data and generating profit. So we have two types of computer criminal. That is outsiders. So outsiders are originate from within a business that can include any party that introduces risk through malicious or unintentional behaviors. Um, Second is insiders, originate from external source that can be any threat actor that isn't affiliated with the business directly. So this is outsider threats versus insider threats. The first is outsider threats. We have cyber criminal, nation state sponsored attackers, competition sponsored attackers, and activism. So the next is insider threats. We have employees, contractors, business partners, and compromised internal accounts. So again, outsider versus insiders, but in a motive way. This is economic. So at the outsider, we have economic gain, corporate or nation state sponsored, and political and military advantage, political or social science. In the insider, we have financial gain, personal advantage, professional revenge, and outsider influence. And then again, um, insider again, and insider, but in a target way. So we have outsider is cyber criminals, nation state sponsored attackers, competition, and activism. And in the insider, um, we have a intellectual property and trade secrets, and business plans and corporate secrets, product, source code, personal information, and final information, financial information. So the last is outsiders and insiders, but in a methods way. So in the outsiders, we have social engineering, hacking, malware, denial of service attacks, malicious USB drops, physical thief. And in the insiders, we have social engineering, physical thief, privilege abuse, copying or uploading sensitive data, unintentional data leaks, or use of company property. So, um, we already done, but let's review some facts. So the first, computer virus. Um, so the computer virus, you already know that they are small software programs that designed to spread. And second, um, spreading of virus. So like what I've said, even if you are careful, you can pick up computer viruses through normal web activities. So always be careful. And third, steps to avoid viruses. Um, install the licensed antiviruses because um, they are, these antiviruses are being able to identify and prevent the spread of computer viruses. And next is computer crime. Computer crime are referred to cybercrime, e-crime, electronic crime, or high-tech crime. The next is types of computer crime. That is target of crime, medium attack, tool, and intimidate or deceive. And the last is types of computer criminals. That is outsider and insider. So thank you. Hope you learned today. Bye.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Altes Ericanol. So, reason for computer crime: economic, ideological, psychological, and egocentric. Ang economic, ito yung steal or grab a certain file or money in a company or in the government. Ideological, it means that person has some ideology to change something like in movies or anime. Psychological is maybe that person needs special treatment and committed a crime like that. At ang egocentric naman is ito yung may high ego and gusto niya may mag-prove sa field, especially in cyberspace. So, methods of attack. Data tampering. Data tampering is the act of deliberately modifying or destroying, manipulating, or editing sa through unauthorized channel. For example, sa in the instance where data packets are transmitted unprotected, a hacker can intercept the data packet, modify its contents, and change its destination address. So, meron ding programming techniques and mga ibang other methods. So, what is piracy? Piracy is defined as attacking and robbing a ship at sea, ganon. Or stealing someone else's intellectual property. For example, reselling media, downloading from a website, taping songs, buying a used book or CD, watching broadcast television but escaping commercial. Merong limang types ng piracy. End-user piracy, client-server piracy, internet piracy, hard disk piracy, and software counterfeiting. So, ang end-user piracy, this occurs when an individual reproduce copies of software with an authorization. This include using one license copy to install a program on multiple computers. Copying this for installation of distribution. Pwede, taking advantage of upgrade offers without having a legal copy of the version to be upgraded. So, client-server piracy. This type of piracy occurs when too many users on a network are using a central copy of a program at the same time. Tapos, internet piracy. Ito yung unauthorized software is downloaded from the internet. The same forecasing rules apply to online software for cases as for those bought in compact disc format. Common internet piracy techniques are websites that make software available for free download or in exchange for others' internet, auction sites that offer counterfeit or out of channel software. So, ang hard disk piracy, ito yung when a business sells new computers with illegal copies of software loaded onto the hard disk to make the purchase of the machines more attractive. So the last one is software counterfeiting. This type of piracy is the illegal duplication, distribution, or sale of
copyrighted material with the intent of imitating the copyrighted product. So, the next one is hacker. Hacker is someone who bypasses the system's access controls by taking advantage of security weakness left in the system by developers. The second one is system. Access confidential information, threaten someone from your computer, broadcast your confidential letters or materials, and store illegal material. Evils of hacking. Compromise the security of system without permission from an authorized party, usually with the intent of accessing computers connected to the network. Advantages of hacking. Unang-una is yung to determine problem and weakness for program, creation of firewall, useful for military purpose and spying, better computer security. Thank you.
Ethical dilemmas in information technology. So, dilemmas are discussed in relation to four areas, and those are the piracy, information accuracy, access to information, and lastly, intellectual property rights. But let's talk about first what is privacy. So, privacy is the right of individuals to retain certain information about themselves without disclosure and to have any information collected about them with their consent protected against unauthorized access. Invasion of privacy is a potent trend in an information society. Individuals can be deprived of opportunities to form desired professional and personal relationships, or can even be politically neutralized through surveillance and gathering of data that provide information about them. Next, information accuracy. It is pervasive use of information in our societal affairs means that we have become more vulnerable to misinformation. Accurate information is error-free, complete, and relative to the decisions that are to be based on it. So, professional integrity is one of the guarantors of information accuracy. An ethical approach to information accuracy calls for the following. Number one, a professional should not misinterpret his or her qualifications to perform a task. Number two, a professional should indicate to his or her employer that the consequences to be expected if his or her judgment is overruled. Number three, system safeguards such as control audits are necessary to maintain information accuracy. So number four, individuals should be given an opportunity to correct and accurate information held about them in databases. So lastly, number five, contents of databases containing data about individuals should be reviewed at frequent intervals with obsolete data discarded. So next, access to information. It is the hallmark of an information society that most of its workforce is employed in handling of information, and most of the goods and services available for consumption are information related. And there are three necessities for access to the benefits of an information security included. Number one, the intellective skills to deal with information. Number two, access to information technology. And number three, access to information. One should strive to broaden the access of individuals to the benefits of information society. And this implies broadening access to skills needed to deal with information by further enabling literacy, access to information technology, and appropriate access to information itself. Intensive work is being done on developing assistive technologies, specialized technologies that enhance access of the handicapped to the information technology and in many cases to the world at large. So lastly, intellectual property rights. The right to property is largely secured in the legal domain. However, intangibly of information is at the source of dilemmas, which take clarity away from the laws, moving many problems into the ethical domain. At issue primarily are the rights to intellectual property, the intangible property that results from an individual's or a corporation's creativity activity. Intellectual property is protected in the United States by three mechanisms. Number one, copyright. So this is a method of protecting intellectual property that protects the form of expression rather than the idea itself. So number two, method of protecting intellectual property that protects a non-obvious discovery falling within the subject matter of the Patent Act. And lastly, number three, the trade secret. Intellectual property protected by a license or a non-disclosure agreement. So, computer programs are valuable property and thus are the subject of theft from computer systems. Unauthorized copying of software, or what we call software piracy, is a major of form of software theft because software is intellectual property which is protected by copyright law and user licensing agreements. Next, plagiarism. It is the practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one. So, plagiarism is a serious issue. In fact, due to the digital technology, is becoming an increasingly large problem for publishers that requires delicate handling. According to IEEE, plagiarism in any form is unacceptable and is considered a serious breach of professional conduct with potentially severe ethical and legal consequences. Consequently, IEE started to impose severe punishment upon those who commit deliberate acts of plagiarism, including titles being revoked and authors being banned from publishing. Number two, netiquette. It represents the importance of proper manners and behavior online. In general, netiquette is a set of professional and social etiquettes practiced and advocated in electronic communication over any computer network. So, common guidelines include being courteous and precise and avoiding cyberbullying. Netiquette also dictates that users should obey copyright laws and avoid overusing emoticons. Netiquette is a short form of network etiquette or internet etiquette. So now let's talk about on how can we stop or prevent cybercrime. Computer crime in banking, IT security, and preventing online fraud. So now let's talk about on how can we stop or prevent cybercrime. Computer crime in banking, IT security, computer crime prevention law, and computer crime preventing online fraud. But let me define first what is cybercrime. Okay, so cybercrime is a criminal activity that either targets or uses a computer network or a network device. Most, but not all, cybercrime is committed by cybercriminals or hackers who wanted to make money. Cybercrime is carried out by individuals or organizations. Some cybercriminals are organized, use advanced techniques, and highly technically skilled. Others are non-voice hackers. So there are different types of cybercrime, and some of those are email and internet fraud, identity fraud, where professional information is stolen and used, theft of financial or card payment data, theft and sale of corporate data, ransomware attacks. Next, prevention of computer crime in banks. Applying the modern technical means of the information security has become the significant element of the computer crime prevention in banking. It implies the access restriction or the use of the whole computer system or just part of it. The regulations about technical information security in Ukraine indicates that technical information security with the restricted access in the automated system and means of the computer engineering is directed on preventing the disturbance of data integrity with the restricted access and its leaking in the way of unauthorized access, in taking and analyzing the collateral, electromagnetic radiations, and inducing the use of the laning devices, and lastly, the implementation of computer viruses and other ways of disturbance. Next is IT security. So, this is the security is a set of cybersecurity strategies that prevents unauthorized access to organizational assets such as computers, networks, and data. It maintains the integrity and confidentiality of sensitive information, blocking access of sophisticated hackers. So next is computer crime prevention, and let's talk about the role of it. So cybercrime law identifies standards of acceptable behavior for information and communication technology. It establishes social legal sanctions for cybercrime, such as protects ICT users in general and mitigates and prevents harm to people, data, systems, services, and infrastructure in particular protects. Cybercrime law provides rules of conduct and standards of behavior for the use of internet, computers, and related digital technologies, and the actions of the public, government, and private organizations. Rules of evidence in criminal procedure, cyberspace, and regulation to reduce risk or mitigate the harm done to individuals, organizations, and infrastructure should a cybercrime occur. So, lastly is yung preventing online fraud. So, I want to share with you guys the 5 tips that that we can use to prevent online fraud. Number 1, keep financial data separate. For business users in particular, use a dedicated workstation to perform all company banking activity. Use other computers to access the internet and conduct non-banking business. When it's time to retire, the company that was used to access company banking, be sure to back up all sensitive information and erase the hard drive before recycling it. Number 2, know who's asking. As a general rule of thumb, banks don't send emails or text messages that ask for personal information, such as account or social security numbers. Banks will also not require to verify account information in this manner. Never share any information, especially social security or tax ID numbers, account numbers, or login and password information via email or text. Number 2, keep your passwords secret. Of course, do not share passwords and do not leave any documents that contains access to financial data in a secured area. Number 4, no phishing allowed. Beware of phishing emails. These emails are designed to prompt you to click links provided within the email to verify or change your account in some way. Number 5, protect your computer. With cyber attacks on the rise, it's more important than ever to install antivirus software on your computer or network. Equally important in ensuring you are regularly running and updating the software to prevent viruses from infecting your computer. In addition, installing and enabling the following software programs will help you combat malicious cyber activity, like anti-spam software, firewall, anti-spyware software. That's all. Thank you.